That Rusty roster on the defensive side, the Wild Bunch on the offense. What kind of start are we seeing here?
Like probably Wild Bunch would like to go on one cap, but considering that RT, that would not be a prudent choice. So I guess everything will evolve around pressuring the 2 cap. Now, Rusty roster is already spreading the tanks around, so they will interrupt that. This is kind of a standard setup we've seen by a lot of teams who play artillery, because this way they make a crossfire if they're pushed. They sacrifice one guy, where Yamto is at the moment, and everyone else gets shots. And this is really all around the defense, because Shepsheshenian is controlling the field. Artillery is also able to shoot there. The only thing they don't have are immediate decaps, and you need a guy really up front, somewhere there on C6, I think, so he could get an angle.
You can see here, Mojo, they are going for the cap. They know Pashka is there, but putting 2 guys on the cap, explain why this might still work out for them.
Well, if artillery, as we said, miss, it's still a long reload of almost 40 seconds, and Pashka did miss. So this is a kind of a moment when you have to have your forces ready for counterattack, because if next shell by Pashka does not hit, they're doomed.
Exactly, if that next shell from Pashka does not come out, you can see the reload on that RT not available right now. It's going to have to be a reaction from Rusty roster. They're going to Dudolino on that cap. They don't even know exactly where Dudolino is at this point. Still 23 seconds.
But they need to focus first on like decapping one guy at least. That's why Prosto is doing this suicidal run. He's hoping to see Dudolino, and there you go. This is an RT shell, I believe.
But still, Mojo, what you talked about, there's now too much time left on the cap.
Yeah, and Dudolino, and now the cap will be pressured probably by Phenomenal too. Phenomenal is closing in.
Gorni did decide to reposition, because that I7 is taking a hell of a lot of damage in that one already. Phenomenal now realizing that it's not an option to go for that cap anymore. And there is the push out. Look at Valdir in that FE215B, Mr. Kella as well, trying to do some damage. Ramto is the first target here. Only small skirmish so far. They wanted to push, but decided not to in the end.
Well, last time it was kind of obvious when the Wild Bunch pushed here. They suicided in exactly this street against an enemy team. So bad memories all over the place, and they're playing smarter, but the cap is pressure.
The cap is still on here, 20 seconds left. Shepsheshenian, he cannot cross over. Those FE215Bs, they are controlling him. Look at Agorni, Kiki, Merkat. They are coming here to make sure that you can't cross over Shepsheshenian. He needs to get the reset here. 9 seconds left. Why is Kiki not killing Shepsheshenian?
Kiki was not even shooting him. Where are you watching, man? For Christ's sake.
Finally, Agorni. Finally, Agorni picks it up. 1 second left on the cap, and it doesn't seem like the reset is going to come out, and it will be the Wild Bunch picking up that first round. And that was Kiki, mate, please.
Like, here you go, bro. Take them. You need them.
I feel like Kiki should
I don't even see the screen now. Wow.
I mean, still, we talked about it. Rusty roster needed more than just RT to reset.
You cannot really rely only on artillery, especially not on long reloading one like M40. Also, RNGesus is not always with you. Sometimes it will hit, sometimes even
Pashka
completely
never knew
missed.
exactly where the Dudolino was. Dudolino was
I mean,
never
he could
spotted.
have guessed,
yeah, but still.
it's really rough. Okay, I'm going to shoot in this area, and if you miss, what then? Another 40 seconds? So
and
no go
Kiki,
there.
Kiki almost made it, you know, close by not shooting Shepsheshenian.
Yeah, I was like, where is, what's he doing? And then you see
like,
his gun shooting somewhere straight there.
I thought it was great. Like, Agorni, Kiki are there. They kill Shepsheshenian and Crossy. I see Kiki just clipping
It's
towards
kind of
the
a funny
side.
scene when you see a Gorni who is like this with him, and he's shooting all the time. He's probably Kiki, Kiki, and he's like, what?
What?
But never mind. Still a game for them.
Still a game. They did manage to
said who makes less mistakes.
Exactly.
There you go.
Let's take a look at the stats from that last round, or more saying the lack of it, Mr. Mr. Kella there.
The damage dealer.
The damage dealer. Now, there's not a lot of stats in here. The cap was the only important thing, with together with the positioning. Could see there, those FE215Bs, they wanted to push, then they stopped.
It
was
actually
great.
It was a good choice to stop, because they took attention off the cap for one. And for two, they did not suicide.
Yeah, those FE215Bs, they had great shots onto the side of Shepsheshenian. So even if, let's say Shepsheshenian got the reset, they would lose a 1-1-3, and I think the Wild Bunch would still be in the advantage.
It was also a good decision to pull off that I7. He was getting wrecked. He was getting completely wrecked. They would lose him for nothing, and then the game would probably go down the toilet for nothing.
I mean, I felt like Dudolino was more a backup plan than the main plan here. If Shepsheshenian gets the reset, that's nice, right? But they would lose a 1-1-3 for that, and then the Wild Bunch is in the lead.
Yeah, and then they could just put another guy there, and they would be in another problem again. But this way, I know. I mean, it would just look a bit better if Kiki was actually shooting Senian.
We'll forget about that one though much as we now move into our next round. Let's see what we got for our tanks. And it looks like the tier 9 heavies are back, Mojo.
Oh, wow. Well, at least two of them on the Rusty roster side. It's kind of heavy setup they are choosing to play now in offense. But a lot of clippers they took. Maybe they are like, okay, we've seen a match that the Wild Bunch played against Oops last time, and Oops was clipping them with those 57, so we might do the same, because this is very similar lineup to Oops, honestly. But on other side, on defense, the Wild Bunch dumped Artie, I think, for the first time, maybe even.
That Artie wasn't really... I mean, he didn't make great plays in most of those rounds.
In both times they got pushed by teams. He actually did crucial plays, but others not so much.
But that lineup from Rusty roster so far, we've seen them biasing themselves towards that one base, if you remember, but both Swift and the match they played before that against Legend. Now, wondering if they're going to be going for the same thing.
Well, against RT, they could play one way, but here they can press any cap they want, because there is nothing that can remotely decap them. So the pressure they can apply with that, let's say, VZ and T10 and 113, they can easily put the 310 tanks if they want on one cap.
It does seem like our game is ready. So let's get into it. The second round between these two. Rusty roster now on the offensive, the Wild Bunch on the defense, and as we talked about, Rusty roster biasing themselves towards that eastern side.
Yeah, it looks like they were pressured there. They put mediums up so they could spot any kind of push by the Wild Bunch, but the remaining force is coming in there. The Wild Bunch is really coming in there hot, in big numbers.
And the Wild Bunch doesn't seem like they're going to let Rusty roster get on that capture circle for free. Mojo, explain why these bad shots get off such a nice spot without even getting punished.
No one has a reload.
Pretty much.
Pretty much sums down to that. And those 50 Bs, it's important spot, because now they know if they push someone in a cap, 50 Bs are already waiting. So the next alternative for them is they're pushing a bad shot, they're on B0, so he has some cooldown action against them.
Again, this reminds me of the last time Rusty roster played against Swift. It was pretty much the same setup here, at least positioning. They were reading very passive in the 8 line as well.
It's not like Rusty roster changes their habits from the game to game, but Agorni is still taking damage here.
Nice shooting there from Prosto. Has to be careful, as you can see Kiki might want to take the fight against that bad shot.
I think Agorni actually took 3 out of 5 shells. That's quite a lot. And quite careless for the start of the game. Again, we were talking, Agorni was often losing HP for no need in the start.
Agorni, a very eager young player. Sometimes really great, sometimes a little bit hit or miss. Prosto does get spotted out, and Kiki can get close. He can challenge that batch, but Prosto almost has his reload available.
It's gonna be a slow game, because the Wild Bunch should know better than to just go and suicide on them, because there is nothing here to do.
Doesn't seem like there is much to do so far, just the Wild Bunch playing control. Mojo, what do you think is the move here going to be for the Wild Bunch?
It's not what it's gonna be about the Wild Bunch, it's what's gonna be for the Rusty roster. At the moment they're stuck here. They need to get control of this cap here and pressure it. We've seen how Ding actually did it. They put one guy here, while the other guys are positioned in these positions, so they can go either here or here when they're pressured, because this kind of setup by the Wild Bunch, it doesn't really allow them to just go freely for the one cap here. Like, this is not an option. But Wild Bunch is now actually rotating, and I think it gives a lot of room to them to move around. But it's only question, they're so static sometimes that will they even see? Will they even see? Are they even realizing they can actually put someone in a cap now?
Don't think they know for now. Rusty roster, very passive start. You can see the rotation here, the 50 Bs, Feldir, L-Train, Dudelinho, Kiki, pretty much everybody. Look at Yamto, poor guy, took one shot, damage loader.
Pashka is going straight for them.
Oh,
He's
no.
gonna get wrecked.
This is bad.
And Prost also. Like, what? They just split both budgets away from entire team?
Both these bad shots here, Pashka, Prosto, have to be careful. There's a hell of a lot of fire waiting around that next corner here. Pashka already takes one. If they overcommit here,
seriously, the only thing keeping them alive is because the Wild Bunch is not spotting anything and they have no clue. These guys are actually alone.
Prosto actually
I
managed
think there is a big
spot.
dog behind, but there's no one.
Prosto actually spot WGLEU there, and they kind of have a lot of information now. Now Rusty Roster should make a rotation base of it, or at least go on the capture circle.
Come on, Rusty. That 8th line is very well protected by you, but you actually need to win a game.
Looks like finally there is the rotation coming out from Rusty Roster. Now Shepshisheni and Yamto in those tier 9 heavies pushing up to the cap. Now the Wild Bunch, this rotation is actually costing them a lot of positions as well.
Yes, but it actually works. There will be a lot of cat pressure, but Wild Bunch is already on time there, and there will be a huge fight there where Catch Me and the guys are. I think that will be the main fight. And more or less, the entire Wild Bunch force is going there, and Agorni will be able to decap from the upper position.
Nice shot there from Valdir as Figo in the T57 tries to trade. Now Kiki is pushing up as well. As you said, Mojo, I do think the fight will be here. The peak starting to come out. Figo in the T57 doesn't have that many shells available. Here's the push from the Wild Bunch. Figo is the first target, has to back off, but Phenomenal is the one to pick it up. And it doesn't look like the Wild Bunch is about to stop here as they found the overmatch. Bashka, Prosto not in there so far. Yamto, Shepshishenian trying to do what they can. But look at the HP. It's still a little bit in favor here from Rusty Roster. And if Catch Me can get another reload as Yamto goes down, it could still be okay. But Basista, there's too much tanks not in the fight right now for Rusty Roster.
Rusty Roster is split all over the map, and that's their prime mistake. If they wanted to pressure cap like that, they needed to keep those butchers close, tight with them, so they can clip on whoever is pushing down. Now, like this, they had a lot of like Wild Bunch guns just shooting them down while they were out of the clips. It's even lucky this is this close.
Shepshishenian here fighting with L-Train. It's Phenomenal to be picking it up, but it's still a 4v3 here, and Catch Me doesn't have reload available just yet in that T57 heavy, and Kiki Merka and the tier 9 Batchat wants to pick him up. He's going to need more shells, but Catch Me actually picks it up. Now, Catch Me has 3 more shells. He can do this.
The low alpha! But Agorni saves the day for Train, otherwise Train would be split in half here.
Pashka, nice shot there between the T5041 turret and the hole, picking up that 50B. Nice shots onto Elchin as well, though.
This is a really tight game at the moment. Pashka is now on reload, but we don't know Prosto. What is Prosto doing? He's going on another map? Prosto actually has entire clips, so we have 2 single shooter heavies against 2 Bachats. And heavies actually are defending, so that's the only good thing going for them.
Prosto and Agorni spot each other out. FE215B has the houses to cover him pretty much, though. They need to reposition here. Prosto gets out.
L-Chain needs to be protected by Agorni really a lot, because he will be the first target.
Will Pashka boost? Would he boost, you think? No, he just spots L-Train. Pashka spots L-Train.
He's keeping L-Chain busy, so L-Chain cannot go anywhere. He's stuck there at the moment. Like, he cannot even afford to cross that 8-9 line because of Prosto.
Pashka lets off a shell here, doesn't connect it just yet. Kind of feel like he could boost in this situation, Mojo.
Yeah, but he would not achieve that much, and he would get stuck. But here you go. He chose to do that.
If he makes it...
He tried to do that.
He tried to do that. Doesn't make it. Now...
Another go?
Another go? You think so?
3 minutes to the end?
I don't think he'll do it again.
Yeah.
It's too much pressure. Kind of feel... Mojo, Prosto could probably just push L-Train and get out again, but Pashka is going for round number 2.
Okay.
I mean, in this time he could have reloaded already.
There we go. He's up. Well, let's see what's sitting behind their agenda now. I mean, L-Train is here in decent cooldown position. He can really be a big pain for them if they don't pen him. But still, it's an FE heavy. Like, his turret is not known for his best bouncing values.
So Elchin gets spotted out here. It has to be Pashka to land the shots. He's still climbing right now, though, so...
2 minutes, 20 seconds. Well, it's still Bachats. Bachats can play it out really fast.
I mean, they know where Agorni is. So Agorni is spotted, so they know where he is. He's at FE215B. He really can't run. Pashka now trying to land some shells.
A bounce.
A miss.
That's the third shell, by the way.
And a
That's
pen.
4. He has 2 more.
No, Pashka is out. He only had 4.
He didn't reload before that?
No, he didn't reload.
Oh my!
That's what I was saying. I think
God.
he could have. I think he could have reloaded in the time he was trying to climb.
Like he could have done it easy by now. What a bad judgment of time! And now there is 2 minutes left.
rotation from Prosto though.
But Prosto, if he sneaks in behind Agorni,
I think he will try and take out L-Train first.
Definitely, since Agorni abandoned this position, that's his goal.
He didn't spot Prosto though.
Oh, what a timing! L-Train actually managed to pull back behind the corner now here.
But still, he didn't manage to spot Prosto, so I guess it was Pashka spotting him. Look at what the Wild Bunch is doing here. They're trying to use the Rex.
This is tight. This is
The only thing Rusty Roster has to do, though, is come from 2 angles.
Yeah, but if the Wild Bunch managed to kill off Pashka fast... Ooh, Prosto! The worst mistake ever!
Prosto tried and overextends a little bit here, but he's okay as he picked up L-Train. Now he needs to make sure every single shell onto Agorni goes through so Pashka can come in and clean up here. He only has 1 more shell. Does he make it?
Agorni, did you count?
Oh, Prosto!
54 seconds.
Prosto needs to stick the shell here for Pashka, because Pashka needs 3 shells. Agorni could reload in that time. Great play from Agorni here, repositioning behind the wreck.
Also.
He needs to pick up Pashka. Agorni needs to pick up Pashka here. As he does, he picks up Pashka. Can he pick up Prosto as well? Agorni in the FE215B needs 1 more shell. Prosto gets around the corner.
Heartbreaking moments here.
Close stuff here now. Both of these tanks on a 1-shot. Agorni, he can do it.
We were talking about the boy. It's time to shine. Come on.
Oh my god, this is cheeky. Agorni, he thinks Prosto will just come full speed around the corner. They spot each other out. Agorni misses! Prosto picks it up! It's going to be Rusty Roster. Picking it up.
Bad karma, mate. Like
no.
after such a good day. He really deserved to win this. He really deserved it. Come on. Totally not just. Calimero time.
I kind of feel like he fired just a little bit too quick, though. He could have played with the wreck a little bit more.
He could have even stayed there, and there was a bunch of options, but we are observers, and he was just carrying the game hardcore.
That was a nice finish to a round, though.
Yeah, it was fun for us. It woke us up. Woo, woo. Like you go.
Rusty Roster there. Not the greatest of setups, but still recovering somehow.
Somehow their camping works from time to time. Like, really. I really expected Agorni to carry this one out. It would look really good.
Let's take a look at stats though from the last round, Mojo. Yeah, I was thinking as well, you know, like with Prosto missing that last shot, if Pashka pushes him, you know, Agorni reloads in time.
Yeah, but there was
Look
so
at
many.
Pashka, mate. Look at Pashka. Look at Agorni. I think that's the highest damage so far we've seen this season.
Holy Pashka, over 5K.
0.3k damage? I think that's the highest we've seen so far this season. I'm not sure, but I think so.
We've seen 5 point
Yeah,
something, but we need to see how much.
We've seen 1 game that was more than 5k, and that was
think
Zed,
it was
Zed against Utopia.
I think he
even
did
100.
5.4 there.
Did 5.4?
Yeah, we need to check. We need to check.
This is the highest.
This is official. This is the highest, guys, so far.
And
the highest
even
one.
then, Agorni 4.2, I think we've never seen somebody do 5.2 and then the next guy 4k as well.
From enemy team.
From
That
enemy
was a
team.
big fight. Nice.
Nice.
If only some guys like Shebrzesheny and Yamto participated in that fight.
Pashka, you know, we talked about him in the beginning. There he is. He shows up.
Wow, he did like more than most of these guys together.
That was impressive.
That was a cool game. At the end, at least.
That was you know, Prosto went in a little bit too eager. Because he missed the first shot, then penned the second, and bounced his last one.
But the timing between them, that was
off,
really
was
Prosto's. I mean, I understand his intention. He will lure the shots. He has enough HP. But then he didn't hit everything. And why didn't he just wait? For Christ's sake, it would be so much easier.
He waits 3 more seconds.
I know
Pashka
why.
comes
More
in.
drama. More fun for us. There you go. That's why.
Just wanted to make it closer.
Definitely. Like,
Imagine
they were
if
just giving them, you know,
imagine
some
if
advantage.
Agorni won that one. The highlights. The highlights.
And the game would be over right there, mate. Like, you don't come back.
You don't recover from that.
No.
But that is Ghost Town done and dusted. Gonna get better on mines. Let's find out. Look what we got for our tanks here. Mojo, the RT, they're back on both sides.
Artillery in defense by the Wild Bunch. I wonder, Dudulinho. Like always. But we have Rusty Roster here with artillery now. Probably the bane for them because they got decamped by one last time. So I guess, well, RT party here. Let's see who will utilize the mediums better, honestly, because in defense, how you choose to play with those mediums will make a critical difference.
Yeah, Pashka just wants to do what they did to him, you know, in that Lorraine RD.
But let's see. He can rotate the map. The Wild Bunch RT just has
we know the RT
option
likes
at
to
the
get
start.
into E1 at one point.
We just need to see where will the Wild Bunch RT be. Like, he usually likes to get stuck in that corner.
Mojo, seems like our game is ready. Let's find out who's going to win the duel of the RTs here as we move into mines.
Mines, a small summertime map with lots of hills, rocks and other cover. The teams start the battle in the usual locations, but the base locations are different. One is located in the bottom part of the village and the other one is in the water. One of the key objectives is the center hill. That's why the teams will often select fast vehicles and tanks with strong turrets for cover.
So the Wild Bunch is going to be on the defensive side, Rusty Roster on the offense. And Mojo so far, Kiki looks to be wanting to climb here.
Yeah, he's
Oh, it's going to be boost. Boom, 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 boom. Here comes Mr. Kala.
It was the worst synchronized streaming I've seen in my life ever. Oh. But look at Pashka's position in Arty. It's really aggressive, while Dudulinho is camping in a corner as usual. So I was like, maybe I will see an artillery tracing
I think
now.
Phenomenal just failed as well.
Oh, that's gonna
No.
that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
There's the Pasha stuck
I
there.
don't see a diplomat on grill here to carry this kind of failures.
Pashka makes off a shot. Whoa, that doesn't land. They try to hit Phenomenal
Hey
there.
guys, we are making a run for it, and no one from Rusty Roster is shooting.
Gorny here. This is risky. Could catch Basista off guard. No, Basista in the bush will spot him out. Gorny needs to back off.
Yeah, but he already bought enough time for his team. For that failure, they're clear. Unreal. Like, that kind of failure
Phenomenal
should
is
be
going
punished
again.
instant.
Phenomenal is going again. He's actually going to make it. He gets spotted though. Phenomenal takes one. Could take a lot more here too. Already gets tracked. Oh no, that's terrible for Phenomenal. He gets tracked and he has to. Is he stuck? No, he's fine.
No, he's not stuck.
But still, that was horrible for him getting tracked there. Poor guy.
Wow, this will be a highlight.
It was horrible because he got tracked, so he slid down.
So we have not that much map control by the Wild Bunch at the moment. And for some reason, even less by the Rusty Roster. Last time we had a lot of opportunity to see Rusty Roster try to climb all over the
You
place.
see how careful Prosto is there? Because last time when they played Go Hard,
Oh, when they played Go Hard, that trap, the trap.
if you wonder what we're talking about, last time they played Bites, Rusty Roster. There was 3 guys waiting in C0, and Prosto, you know, he's making sure to be careful. So far, though, some control coming out here, but Phenomenal taking more damage as
Like
well.
if you wonder, last time Go Hard actually made a trap, they left 2 budgets, like here, and they already had 1 guy. So when the guys did the rotation, and they came like from upper side here, 2 of them died here before they even saw who was shooting them, and third was running like in panic, completely out of the place. But Prosto now from this position here, I don't know, like this guy here
the
is a
RD
big
angle
problem
as well
at the
on
moment.
E1.
Because this E5 will shoot here while he's driving, if he even manages the boost. And, well, honestly, the Wild Bunch even doesn't have anyone here, so this RT, if he moves to E1, has no meaning.
He can shoot the bat shot in the back of the third.
From here, if he moves, there is a little hole here for RT. He can connect directly this guy in the back, and he can chase away even E5 from here. So he needs to move. So if they make a crossfire from the village and there, then it will be perfect. Otherwise, they're just wasting our time and doing nothing. But there is RT.
There's RT. Pashka is now pushing up. It's going to be a question if the Wild Bunch will know how to deal with this. Figo tried to get up there. Did he make it?
If they watch Diplomat games, they should know where the RT is, and then Dudulinho should make every effort to trace him.
Basista, though, trading
You know what
with
would be a
Kiki.
bummer? Like Figo is spotted and Dudulinho fires there and kills Pashka. That would be fun.
I mean, could be that Dudolino is trying to trace here, but there's a lot of damage being traded here. Kiki as well in that batch, dropping low. Prosto will be the one to pick it up, though.
It's not even a trade.
Basista traded in return. Look at his HP, 264. There's the shell from Artie missing, though.
Batagorni still lost the position and had to fall down. Like this thing, this is not really good, looking good for the Wild Bunch after that start.
Looking good for the Wild Bunch so far. I'm guessing Prosto will line up the boost now onto the 0 line. Well, climb. Should start calling it climbs.
Let's go Prosto, let's go Prosto. You can do it, we have faith. Light fingers, light feet. No.
Yes.
Yes? No.
He could have made it, I think.
Nope. Nope. It's like that 1 millimeter.
It depends. It depends on how where exactly you land on the rock.
It's that 1 millimeter that was missing there. Okay, Prosto number 2, maybe. Who raised the stakes?
Rusty Roster. We know Agorni is going to try and do this climb here at the same time. That's risky, but it could actually pay off. As nope.
Nope.
Well, World of Failed Climbs so far in full action.
Gravity versus tanks. I mean, Gravity normally wins, you know? So this is like tank simulation, so it's all good.
Even Prosto was like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore.
Let's go for more conventional means. Okay, so plan B, water. Here we go. Water never resists.
True. But I have to be careful with this rotation, though, as well. They're going to need at least 3 bad shots to push that. Basista, I think he's lining up for A8. That could be pretty crucial as well if he does that. Let's see if Basista can do it.
I don't think anyone is even trying to spot him there, so he is all clear to do it. It's just a matter of failure or success. But most of the Rusty roster guys, most of the Rusty roster guys are positioned there, and it looks like those heavy tanks will probably push the water, especially since they know the RT is not in position to decap them, so actually some tank will have to do it. And all the bad shots from the Wild Bunch are pretty much crippled. I mean, they don't know that Phenomenal has dead Amorek, but it doesn't really matter.
This is great though, Mojo, for Rusty roster. Mr. Kala there in that position, we've seen him before. If the 1-1-3s push up, they get side shots onto him.
This is good for Rusty roster in every meaning because Mr. Kela has nowhere to run even when that happens. And Agorni, well, Agorni should have some shots, but then artillery can have clear shots on him if he pulls out to do that. So at the moment, all cards are looking well for Rusty roster.
But he spotted the 1-1-3 though, Agorni. He spotted one of the 1-1-3s, so that kind of reveals the game, you could say.
What can go good for Wild Bunch here? That's the question.
1-1-3s now should start pushing up in essence. The bad shots as well.
Kela is extracting on time. Like that's
timing.
one good thing for them.
Timing for Rusty roster here
3
is
minutes
off.
and 20 seconds. Come on, guys, you're playing so slow.
If
like
they just pushed instantly, they would have completely wrecked the defense here from the Wild Bunch.
They're so scared to make decisions sometimes.
They're now rotating again back towards the hill. Eltra and Valdir already have pushed up. And Phenomenal, I think he's going to try again to get up the boost. And if they do it now, there'll be so much time wasted, it could be very crucial.
Oh my god, I think Rusty roster brought the worst of all the possible choices how to play the ending of this. Even with all this advantage, they can just lose it all for nothing.
Phenomenal does make it now up on that Ishan side.
He's spotted.
Yeah, but they won't be able to punish him though, so he does make it on that Ishan side. This makes it again harder for Rusty roster to make their play. Now they're going back to the 1-2 line.
2 minutes and 30 and you're going back to 1-2 line? Seriously? Like they can't even enter the cap in next 20 seconds. Minimum.
They do get a free 1-2 line, you could say.
Oh, if Mr. Kela is not more careful. But he should be.
Kind of got beaten by the timing there, Figo.
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
But Dudolino is already in position to reset this as well, though. I mean, look at him. He is not in K8 anymore. He's in K6.
He doesn't even have to survive. Like, he needs to rest it once or twice, and they can even kill him then.
Mr. Kela did get spotted out, and there needs to be a play here somehow from Rusty roster. They need to take down Mr. Kela.
They need to push there. They need to push there. And they can. Why are they not doing it?
I think they're waiting for Prosto to cross over as well.
And Catch Me is... he's just supporting with TVP. Well, let's see how this goes, because Figo and Prosto, this kind of fight will decide the game.
Agorni, though, getting caught off very heavily in that bad shot. Not the greatest of possible cap resets there coming from him. Not sure. I think he just decided to shoot from behind the bush, for example, perhaps.
1 minute and 20 seconds.
Figo gets tracked here by Mr. Kela. They need to take down Mr. Kela without losing too much.
L-Train is helping him the best he can.
Mr. Kela bouncing another shot here. Now this bad shot needs to die here. They still didn't manage to pick him up. Figo actually goes down on return. But look at the cap. 8 seconds on the cap now. 7 seconds. They need a reset, Mojo.
L-Train.
It is L-Train, but still...
the wrong tank.
It only resets it back down to 10 seconds pretty much. They still need the reset here.
We need Arty to hit. 7.
That's the Arty shell. Now it goes back down to 29 seconds.
Still not enough.
Still not enough. I don't think it's possible here for the Wild Bunch. I mean, Phenomenal, very low
needs
HP.
to suicide and do that, but Phenomenal needs to survive in order for that to happen. And Batista is actually crucial for that now.
He needs to reset all 3 of them while there.
No, just one that has the most points. And they should know which one
They
is
will
that.
still
And
have
Valdir
enough.
is dying without resetting.
Even if he reset it one Mojo, I don't think it would have been enough. Even if he got the most resetted cap points. They all entered at 40 seconds before 40 seconds.
No. They entered one by one and they got resetting
Yeah,
in different
but
time.
they were all in at time as the cap runs down. Going to be Rusty Roster picking up the second round here. No, I mean, they all entered way before 40 seconds. Even if he resets the most guy, the other guys still have enough cap points to make up for the 10 seconds they lose, for example.
You must admit this was wildly Rusty round by any means here.
I think even if Valdir, but it doesn't matter. They managed to pick up the round.
Yes. At the end of the day, it's all about the victory. It will be forgotten
Exactly.
how
That
it
was-
happened and
I
what
mean,
happened.
Their
but-
one two-line play when there was like 5 minutes left, that was fine. That was great.
and
But
what
then they rotated.
Then just let's make it more dramatic like in last round. Yay! I can see the
They
arrow.
got so scared after Gorny spotted them for no real reason there.
They had every advantage
should-
and they should know it.
If they just went, Mr. Kella was dead.
They even knew Phenomenal is up on a hill. Like what would kill them? Like 1-1-3s that are below the hill?
How many Phil climbs were there in this round?
I don't know, mate.
Brosno, Kiki,
Kiki on
Phenomenal.
a start, Phenomenal,
Agorni.
twice,
Agorni.
Agorni. Wow.
Let's
Lost
take a
count.
look at the damage instead of successful climbs.
It doesn't cover our finger counting, mate.
Basista here, 2.6k damage. I mean, it's fairly evenly spread. Even Pashka did 1.7k. Not sure where he landed those shots.
Oh, Pashka was actually connecting them while they were below the hill, those heavies. So he got some of them. And probably while those guys were failing the rotations, he connected some of them to Figo doing zero damage and Phenomenal, one of the best players there. Only one shot of damage, and I think it was the last one. When the game was already over, he killed someone.
That was not great for the Wild Bunch here. Now they're 2-1 down.
Pretty much, and they're going on offense, on mines.
Could it be under too much stress again because they know they only need 3 points to survive? Could it, for a team like that, it's very new to the season, you know, knowing they need 3 points, knowing they're against an opponent they might be able to do it against, added too much pressure?
Honestly, I really don't understand what's going on, because on Ghost Town, on that second game, the right call was made when to push in that group, and then I guess their focus fire was off, because that is not the fight they were supposed to lose. They were supposed to win it by far, because Rusty Roster was split over the place. Here, again, such fails. Like we've seen Go Hard in the last match, had the same situation. They managed to pull through, but they had Diplomat who just took the bag on the back, and he was like, carry.
Pretty much.
And we had no one doing that here.
But it's working out for Rusty Roster somehow. So let's take a look at the lineups for our next round, Mojo. What do you think? Could it be 3-1?
Oh wow, the Wild Bunch playing with more
I mean,
conventional
Rusty
RT and
Roster's on
40,
defense.
and Rusty Rost is in defense, so we don't really expect kind of any kind of progressive play there. So yeah, it's possibility.
They could
actually.
surprise us.
They could surprise us, but in all honesty, unless the Wild Bunch chooses to stick that RT again in a corner like they always do, they might do something. Like if it goes there again, it's gonna be a loss for them.
If the Wild Bunch play 1-2 line again, I don't know. They
Oh
played
man,
it so
they
many
played it
times.
every time and they got wrecked last
But
several X times.
They have played it every single time. It's the issue, and they've played it with RT.
Well, maybe it will work against the Rusty Roster because they're slow enough.
Can't. I mean, even Rusty Roster, we saw their defense. They even managed to pick it up here against Ding. So
We will see. We will see. But Ding was like playing really light and Rusty Roster
And
was
Pashka.
playing super heavy and Pashka one-shot one guy, so it kind of helped.
that kind of helped, but it does seem like our game is ready. So let's get into the fourth round between these two. Rusty Roster on the defense, the Wild Bunch on the on the offense, and Dudolino playing that RT again, Mojo, as we expected now.
Well, we do see sometimes both teams play defense, you know? They're just waiting for each other.
Yes, in a sense. It's not a 1-2 line tactic from the Wild Bunch. This is a good start.
It's a hell of a start for us. We have only one guy going there. He's going to do cross shots. And Bastista playing aggressive spot on Village.
Gorny here, making the climb. Half moons. Nope, never mind.
Yes?
No.
It's
It
more
is-
no than yes.
He needs a lot more speed. Phenomenal's doing the A8 climb at the same time. Gorny try number 2. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
All right, okay. So the thing is, if he wants to do this one, he needs more speed. He needs to go more towards the right, take a deeper circle angle, and then come over. The circle angle he was taking before now,
There we
correct, was not good enough.
Good, lady.
Please, Mojo. You don't have the accent for that.
I need to grow a beard also. Maybe next 10 years. That's how much it would take me.
But now Phenomenal does have that A-line mountain over there. Batista is in a very weird bush in reality. And there's also a trap. Prosto Figo.
Well, Batista is pretty safe there and he will see any kind of rotation. But is there anyone who can really cover him? I mean, Catch Me is below the hill. That's fine. Shebzheshenian is probably sitting in that bush in the middle of the nowhere.
This bush we never see used ever.
We've seen like a medium sometimes sit there for a while and then he leaves because there's nothing to do.
Look at
There we
Prosto
go.
and Figo, Mojo.
Mhm.
There's two bad shots waiting behind that house.
This is such a counterplay. Are they really expecting for
This
the
is a
Wild Bunch
full
to
counter.
actually push?
It's a full counter. They want the Wild Bunch to push the 8 line and then they're going to pounce. Has to be that.
It's not only that, they're actually positioned, they can push the hill if they choose. They can push left and right, wherever they
Would
choose.
be
with
great.
this. Well, it can be bloody marvelous or it can be a disaster coming. So we will see. One of those must prevail.
One way or another, we'll have a big engagement on that eastern side. Just look at these positions. Shebzheshenian behind the bush, Bashka in the bush as well. Prosto, Figo behind the house.
Well, we have two 1-1-3s aligning there. And why are they aligning? Because usually you have someone protecting the hill, so they can shoot him from there fairly safe. Dudulinho is moving with Arti. It's going to be interesting to see. Kiki is really alone there on island. And there is a push on the hill.
There comes Rusty Roster now. They've relocated everybody. They want to take this hill. This could be great for them, Mojo. They're going to pretty much get this hill for free. Even Dudo is not in position, gets spotted out in that artillery. I think he'll be
It's not looking
fine.
good for the Wild Bunch.
Not looking good for the Wild Bunch now. Getting a lot of tanks on this hill part. But Phenomenal gets some nice shells into Figo from that elevated position. Lands another onto Figo. Now that is looking a little bit better for the Wild Bunch.
Yeah, I don't think actually Batista in any moment spotted Phenomenal going up. So that was kind of a hiccup in their plan. But Phenomenal finally paying some respect for our praising him before the match is doing something well.
Kiki is crossing through the 1-2, and we've seen this before. It doesn't always work as effectively. I mean, Halu, as soon as he realizes Kiki is -1 shot, he could just push him.
Also, we need to see about Kiki's position because does he even have anyone to shoot from there? That's the real question. But Kiki's position would be good if he just stays there. And the Wild Bunch, if they were smart now would be time to play water. Now, guys, you need to go and do that. Because if you pull your tanks now and pressure the cap, you have decent positions.
They have great positions even. I mean, Phenomenal on the hill.
Yes, he's
They
spotting
just need to
anything.
relocate Dudo.
But it's really hard to relocate him, so I would rather with that RT aim one dead angle and just wait for a first tank to appear there with him. Like that would be the best call and just leave him there because, man, you really should not focus your tactics only on survival of the one guy. We've seen it doesn't really work.
Does look, Mojo, like they're listening to your words of wisdom that came with age. Pushing the...
So sweet.
That was not meant as a compliment, mate.
I took it as one, it's fine.
Now, Valdir, Mr. Kala, they will be starting this cap. It's all on to Rusty Roster to make a rotation here and decide how they want to deal with this.
At the moment, the only guy who can kind of decap is Halu, but that gun is not that accurate, and especially he doesn't have that big of a pen for 1-1-3s from this distance. So that's not the best solution. Also, he's kind of big as a house for a medium, so they can blind shoot him whenever. Prosto taking quite the beating there driving around. I guess Phenomenal is paying off.
Phenomenal is paying off now. Rusty Roster. Look at the HP already. There's 2k advantage here from the Wild Bunch. So far, not having lost any at all almost.
Oh, Figo on one shot now. Batista trying to sneak through and looking for Arti or a way to deal with it. But who cares? Will Dudulinho live or die? The cap, that's the only thing.
There's 12 seconds left on this capture circle, though. There needs to be a reset. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Halu's trying the best. He gets the reset there. Drops it back to 29. But the HP.
He lost 1200 HP for that. That's a good trade for the Wild Bunch, I would say.
I mean, yeah, you could say that is a good trade for the Wild Bunch. Now up 4,000 over
I would
Rusty
really
Roster.
suggest like simultaneous attempt of resetting the cap. It would help more because you would not lose 1 to 2 KHP every
Dudo
side
picked
you
up
watch.
Prosto. Dudo managed to pick up Prosto on that RT piece. Now 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left. There needs to be a reset right here. Catch Me is going to be the one, but look at the amount of damage he took for that one.
We are back in a cap game, but Rusty Roster's HP is below 4k compared to the Wild Bunch. 9.2. I mean, at this moment, if they want, they can just push if they get bored with capping.
Dudo will go down in that RT piece, but Phenomenal lands a nice one to Pashka. Can he do it again? No. Pashka gets behind the rock, but L-Train from the island manages to pick it up. And now, as we're saying, Cap is all the way back
nice
down to
connection.
15 seconds.
Nice connection there by Phenomenal now.
They're going to have to send somebody else to go reset as Gordy is pushing Halu. He should be able to pick him up. Halu can do 4 shells. Won't be enough to kill him. Shepshashenian comes over for the reset. Gets it, but with 3 tanks left.
The pain when every reset is really high. Basista, poor Basista, they're sitting back with the dead Amorek. Probably no shells also. And 2 113s all spotted. That, well, next time one of them peaks, they're just gonna die. They should just push together and finish.
Phenomenal has shells onto their side as well as L-Train picks up Shepshashenian. Phenomenal lands a nice one. L-Train picks up Catch Me as well. Basista, the lonely 3090. Did he DC? Because he's not moving.
He has a dead Amorek.
But he's not moving either.
I don't know. He's been there for a while.
Never mind.
He was waiting for Phenomenal.
Oh, Basista was pretending to be DC there. He was not moving, and all of a sudden, like.
Well, he did kill their arch enemies and nemesis. I mean, Phenomenal was there. He practically won a game for the Wild Bunch.
I mean, it's a moral victory for Basista.
Yes, finally got him.
That was not good from Rusty Roster. Taking the hill was fine.
Yeah, it was
But
a
after
good
that-
decision, but positioning on the hill, like ignoring that Phenomenal position, then how they place tanks after that,
And
was
what
just...
we see a lot of teams do is they take the hill, then they drop off and they push that position that Kiki is in, which is very effective if you do it well. You abandon the hill after and you just reset.
Yes.
But Rusty Roster, we talked about it, a little bit static, a little bit slow.
Yeah, it would require a big rotation through their own base and then going through the red line to Kiki. They would take some damage, but they would kill him for sure. Gain positions and they would still be in play. Like this, they just handed it over. Like, puff, there you go, do whatever you want
They really
with the
couldn't
map.
do anything once 1-2 was captured by the Wild Bunch completely with a Gorny there. Phenomenal in A8. He can get shots on the side of the heavies and Ibacha's trying to rotate. And then every time they needed to reset the cap, they lost 1.2
Oh,
KHP.
at least we are amused and our slugger race is back to 2-2.
It is back to 2-2. Let's take a look at the damage coming out from the last round, as it is going to be Phenomenal there. Woo! Another big performance here. 4.4k damage, Mojo.
Thank you. Finally, someone in my team is shooting the enemy and
Oh, yeah,
he's not on
I just
vacation.
want to point out, Vala was on vacation.
Unreal. Even Algo told me, hey mate, sorry, but I was on vacation. Yeah.
So Phenomenal there, 4.4k damage. It's been a highlight match so far for a lot of players here. High damages coming out.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of them are giving opportunity to enemy team to shoot from some really stupendous position. But Prosto, wow, only 1 shot managed, like 422, that's quite low. For a budget player, that's really low. Zulinho, 1 kill,
On
500
Prosto.
damage. It's on Prosto. Not really the best game for them, but it worked.
It did work. And so far, I think it's been an issue of Rusty Roster being really slow.
Yeah, ultra slow even.
I mean, slow and steady wins the race, but not if you're just, giving away every
That's only
opportunity.
fairy tales, you know?
I
And
believe-
Marathon.
I believe in fairy tales.
You're watching Marathon all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only place where it means like
Actually, I'm a musician fan. Drumming is my favorite.
that. I've even seen that, mate. You're a good one at that.
Let's take a look at the lineups for the next round, Mojo. And we can see that it's going to be Hemmelsdorf. And, I mean, yeah, that's a very heavy lineup, one would say. 3 IS-4s, 1 A3, double E3, 5100.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay,
that
that's a
is-
new one. That's a game breaker.
That is very heavy.
Yeah,
That is
it's
not
ultra.
going to move much either.
And 5100. I mean, is that the rotation force?
The E3 will go hold down behind it.
Oh, I'm really interested to see how will this work.
From the other side of the Wild Bunch, the FE 4005.
And I7 there.
Usually I'd say like FE 4005, oh, there's like 5 times he can penetrate. Well, there's like 1. Realistically, on distance he's going to hit, and it's the 50-100.
Well, the last time Wild Bunch played against Oops this map, they kind of did really YOLO. So I don't know. Let's see now.
Let's see, as it does seem like our game is ready. It's all even between these two now, moving into Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
Yeah, we have it like Rusty Roster on the defense, and they're taking the defense quite serious with some very, very defensive tanks.
Okay, the big plan now is when the Wild Bunch saw this lineup of Rusty Roster. Okay, we know in which corner they're gonna be, but how and why? Like, what's their DK plan for this kind of game? This is really interesting.
I really think they're gonna defend the 5 line somehow, and then put somebody on A6.
I mean, the Wild Bunch would do the smart instinct to really just spot around for like a minute and a half, 2 even, just to see what's going on, and then move around. HP difference is already pretty big.
Rusty Roster has 15,000.
They're already winning.
15,000 starting HP. The Wild Bunch a mere 13,396.
Wait. We've seen a better HP there. Legend when they played 17,400. I remember the number.
Now,
6,100.
Agorni better do some damage in that FE 4005 this match.
Oh man, he can have a game of his life here. And Shemsheshenian again here.
I'd explain.
But not alone anymore.
Mojo, explain to anybody that's unaware why this barrel's position is so strong, especially when the cap
Last
starts.
4, when he angles there, he is really protected by them, so he cannot get shot easily. But he can decap the 1 cap, guys. That's the key. Like, he is pretty safe. You need to come really up close and personal if you want to kill him. But he can decap behind that little house that's in the middle of the 1 cap. So that's why people use him. And since Rusty Roster is playing so static, he is actually really needed there.
He is really needed now. The rotation from the Wild Bunch. How do they approach this? Because
Oh man, like 5 line.
5 line.
5 line for sure. That's the only way.
Now we can see Mojo. Explain a little bit more.
Well, we already said this guy is pretty much covering this with more straight line than I drew it, and he has backup. So these guys can shoot if someone is pushing there. But the only weakness here is him. He is completely alone. He's relying that these guys will come around the corner, and we know they don't have the turret, and these guys will have to like drive like this. So in all honesty, if a team comes from this side, presses on him, and they leave some snipers here, the game would be already won. But let's see how will the Wild Bunch actually choose to do it, because to do that, they would have to do enough spotting first, without blind play.
They are pushing up here on the eastern side. They're trying to do the standard against this, and I'm not sure if the standard is going to work.
Well, it can work. The plan B here would be to dig out Prosto with that FVTD. So if they leave enough people to again snipe the flanks, and they should again control that 5 line. I think it's really crucial against a heavy team like this to control that 5 line, because anyone crossing like those E3s can eat hell of a lot of shells. And then you can just run away from the cap. You don't care. And I really think FETD should be here dealing with Prosto.
Yep, fully agree with you on that one. Accordion at FETD is going to be crucial in this round. Now you can see slowly but surely those E3s will push up, I guess. Pashka relocating, the cap did get started, but it's not hard at all for Prosto to reset that one.
It's a really strange choice of tactics here by the Wild Bunch. They are trying to play focused play against such a heavy team, while they should actually, in reality, make a good crossfire. So while they're trying to go from A to B, they should do maximum damage and run away and then come back for more. I mean, that's really how they should do it. But okay, their choice. It can work or not, really depending how Rusty Roster actually acts now. But for me, this is too heavy setup, too slow, and I really don't like it.
Elstrain can just flip Dudu on his side, you know. Easy.
Easy, but not even 100, mate. He needs to be fat for that, I think.
Perhaps. But so far, we're already down like 4 minutes, and so far, no damage being taken on the Rusty Roster lineup, which is fairly important.
Ducky is implying Navi had a tactic when they would just stick the 30-90 to the wall, even 100 will come close to him, and he would hit him and flip him on his side. So he has a smaller silhouette, and it's much harder to decap him. And he can even be covered by a tank then.
And he can still shoot.
Yeah, he can still shoot, yes, yes.
Gorny is now relocating actually in that FE3.
Okay,
They're actually
decapping.
trying.
Yeah, they're trying, but he's just not fat enough, mate. That's what I say.
Now, Gorny is rotating at FETD. Where is he going to position himself? Kind of feel like he needs to have an angle on the 5 line.
It's either 5 line or Prosto. There is nothing else he can do with that from down. But if he wants to go on 5 line, he needs someone spotting the 3 line. So it's not going to be a 5 line. It's going to be attack on Prosto. And slowly, cap pressure is again on. Decision making of both teams is kind of slow. But we are hoping for the best. Let me entertain you when they're not.
Look at the rotation. Baldir, phenomenal. Mr. Kella, Mojo, like you said, I think Yamto will be under a lot of pressure here very soon.
Well, it would be about time to put like at least 4 tanks on him. At least 4, and then make a good crossfire, because like Prosto alone is not even a factor in this game. There you go, E3s are moving.
E3s are now pushing forwards as well. They need to take down Yamto before those E3s get into effect. Now, there is the push as well, kicking Mercat from the side. Yamto gets completely blown up there, but there is the power of the E3s. 1.5 onto L-Train, but these E3s very slow shooting. Pashka actually picks up Kiki Mercat in the one-shot from the FVTD. Goodbye, Kiki. Now, Agorni and Dudo trying to deal with Prosto on the side, and Valdir taking even more. Can Agorni land this shot?
Oh, that's not a good one.
That's a bad angle there. Now, Prosto can do a lot of damage here, and looking good so far still for Rusty Roster. But Prosto with the damage ammo rack and Commander.
I think that Kiki Merca dying like that, it was really bad play he did. I know what he wanted. He wanted to use commotion and clip on that Ice 4. But it's just a foolish way, and Bastista is doing damage at that 50, like, come on.
Bastista getting 3 nice shots, like, catch me.
And
they pick up phenomenal.
Stuck. They're all stuck now, and they have nowhere to go.
It was full HP 20 seconds ago.
Oh, dear God. What will Agorni do now? Like, kill Bastista? Like, Rusty Roster will just laugh.
Well, Bastista only has 3 more shells left, so, I mean, wouldn't be a loss.
He can kill him. No, I'm just saying, like, he's just
Poor
tier 8.
Tudorino is about to Pashka. Pashka picks up another one. Dudo coming around that corner. FE183 having a good time here. Nice.
That's a good connection on Shevchenian, but
1.7.
Bastista will pick him up.
Bastista. As Bastista picks up Agorni. And this is not looking good for the Wild Bunch here. Shevchenian firing HE. Bastista is like, let me share my HP, boys. I'm on reload anyways. As Bastista goes down to Valdir. But slowly but surely, Pashka is edging around that corner as well.
He is lurking from the deep waters.
Who is Pashka going to pick up? I think it was going to be Mr. Kella. Pashka lines the shell, picks it up. There goes Mr. Kella. And it's all but over. As Valdir, the last one standing here, he has to deal with an E3 on half HP and then an FPTD on full HP.
Man, I just can say poor Wild Bunch on this game. Why did Kiki push that upper line? That was so suicidal. You can always guess that someone will wait for any kind of rotation coming from there.
Picks up Valdir, now making it 3-2 in favor of the Wild Bunch. That was a fun round.
That was a fun round, mate. for last 3 or 4 minutes, it was definitely Pashka again. He doesn't need an
I don't
RT.
think he did as much damage, but it was great. He just removed Kiki from the map. Just
and
completely
then he removed
him.
light tank.
Yeah, Dudo was trying to flank, and Pashka was like, hello?
Yeah, Dudo was doing what Kiki was supposed to do from the start. Come from their back.
And those E3s, we see just the power of them, you know?
Yeah, but also there was so much possibilities they could do. there are so much better plays that they could do.
You know what's the greatest part about that round? The part where Phenomenal is trying to hide behind some rubble. Basista pushes across and starts clipping him. And Phenomenal's like, really? 5100? Really? Decides
all
to
times
cross
are back.
over, and then the E3s just be like,
All
"What's up?"
times are back, mate. All times are back. Like 5100, the biggest rotation force they had, and they actually won this. Like, come on.
It worked. Phenomenal was full HP, and then the E3s just killed him as he was trying to go safe. Let's take a look at stats, though, and see how much Pashka did in this one. And did they actually do exactly the same damage? That's
Wow.
impressive.
Wow. But Pashka has 3 kills.
Pashka, 3 kills there. Exactly the same damage. Now that is like also one in a million, 1 in 100 million.
I haven't seen it so far. I really haven't seen it so far. But Mr. Kella, as usual, doing a carry for his team when he's not supposed to.
Kiki,
Kiki doing a brilliant game here. Brilliant. Absolutely the best.
poor Kiki.
Dude, I think those wheels were flying like...
I love seeing Pashka play that FPTD. It's great.
Well, TDs plus RTs, that's his specialty. Told you, mate. This time next year, he's going to be like Diplomat. Just a lot of, gym work.
But Diplo it's not that, muscular.
He's not a muscular guy?
No. He just shows the guns in game,
Oh. There's a connection between you, I see.
Between me and Diplo?
Yeah.
We go back.
Yeah.
Long back.
A mainland should be definitely worried here.
No, Milan, there's enough to go around.
Okay. So a victory finally for Rusty Roster. They're in lead 3-2 Himmelsdorf, and now they're switching on attack. And attack is not their specialty. We know that.
No, it's not their specialty. Let's take a look what we got for our tanks here. Moving into our 6th round between these two. Mojo, double 113 Gorilla, and a Gorilla on the enemy team as well. Fairly common.
Well, Wild Bunch playing a more decent game here. Mobile with Grill in defense. We've seen it work a lot of times if enemy team aligns. Rusty Roster also. It's pretty much meta kind of attack game by Rusty Roster. I'm really surprised because this kind of build is more or less rotational. It really needs to go around the map a lot and pick the weak spots from enemy. And Rusty Roster is kind of playing slow most of the time. So let's see how this works.
I mean, the lineup is not supposed to be slow.
I know, but let's see, will they make it slow?
I think Rusty Roster can make anything slow.
Probably even this budget. But
Press R one time.
faulty engine.
But those Gorillas, I'm glad they're back. I think it's going to be Valdir playing one. I'd say, no? Perhaps?
Phenomenal.
Oh, phenomenal. And then Pashka?
Pashka, of course.
I thought Valdir was playing it the last time. Or Agorni.
Agorni, I think, was.
Yeah,
but Agorni is on budget, and I think he's better off there.
I agree. But it does seem like our game is ready. It's going to be all even again, or is going to Rusty Roster going to run away with it? Let's find out. You can see here, Rusty Roster is going to be on the offense now. The Wild Bunch on the defense. And what do we make of the start?
Well, Wild Bunch doing the standard opening for this. They're pressing the rail here. They're just leaving Valdir. He's probably going to go on A5 position. This is really standard for an E5 tank to defend. The rest of the guys are just splitting, and there is a really slow play coming in from the Rusty Roster.
Slow play from Rusty Roster. Something I didn't expect yet so far. Tolino gets spotted out here.
So we have a lot of guys just being spotted here, but it's a slow game. And what happened here, more or less, so far? We see a light tank that came here. His job from that is spotting this line here, guys. So he is going to see any heavy crossing to the rail, and he will give info to these guys to expect someone and so on. While that is going on, we already have an E5 in this position up here. Now his main job from there is to peek and shoot here if needed, but he will stay hidden.
He also has a small
And
angle to reset.
He has a really small angle. He can reset here. So he gives a lot of opportunities for defender that is playing such a light setup that they can now just try to go through these trees. They can go through these angles. They can just flank, do whatever. And eventually, if enemy is positioned in this area here, they can close in from these angles, and they can even peek from this sandbag and just decap them in the back and get them in a big crossfire. So that's advantages of that kind of play, and that's why people play so many light tanks. But also on the Rusty roster side, this kind of light setup gives them a lot of opportunities to trap enemy because of the 50Bs, butt shots, and so on. So there is a lot of variations, but so far we are seeing the slowest one.
You know what's great as well about their lineup? They can drive really quickly up the hill.
Yeah, I can see that. They can also go quickly up, down from the hill, and then up again.
Exactly.
There
Efficiency,
we go.
mate.
There we go.
Now it does seem like the entire rotation here from Rusty roster, it's centered around this hill. They tried to go down, get some early damage. They got someone phenomenal. Got hit by Pashka, I think.
Was he even spotted? I don't think so.
Yeah, he was. He was
Okay.
spotted when we were drawing. He got spotted in D2. Took a hit there from Pashka. So some early damage going in favor.
Sorry,
Rusty
Phenomenal. Our
roster.
drawing didn't cover you.
But now they will come all over the hill, and then it's exactly like you said, all up to the wild bunch to make the correct rotations.
Yeah, they're still not doing any, and they're not spotting much. They just kept Dudolinho to see if someone's moving there, more or less. So they're waiting on their reaction. I guess they're scared of Rusty roster's trapping and slow plays because they're kind of known for it. So they don't really want to fall for some late rotation on 1-2 line.
Bastista leading the charge there, no real surprise. Dudo here in position.
Does Dudolinho have spotting
Yeah,
gear?
he
Like
spots,
there is
he
a bunch
spots,
of them
he
that
spots
pass.
them when he crosses through the when they cross through the 8 line, I think.
I mean,
spotted
he didn't see
Shepard
Yamto.
But spotting Shepard gives him a lot of info.
Seriously, he didn't spot anyone except Shepard, mate. Like half of the team is there, he didn't see them. What was he watching? Wow.
Cartoons.
Sleeping on job. Seriously?
Now, that Gorilla is in B0, common position there. They will put Bastista on the cap. And after that, it's really all up to the wild bunch to see how they react.
We've seen Dudo play from these positions before. Cheeky. Can he proxy from there?
He can
Yeah,
proxy.
he can. Nice, nice. Nice move, guys. Nice move, guys.
Oh, but it's a very aggressive push here from Rusty roster. Shepard and Yamto.
This is something we've seen in Doom before.
Yep. It seems like they want to take down Valdir in that E5 so far. They don't seem to be aware of his position, but soon they will be. Now Dudolinho is trying to do what he can as well in the AMX 1390 from the side. He's actually doing a lot of damage.
Dudolinho is really pain in their butts now. At the moment, they're expecting to kill Valdir here alone, but they're in a big crossfire.
But finally, Valdir is taking a lot of damage here. He shall be going down as Prosto lines up the shot, but actually Phenomenal picks up Prosto before, so the straight not really in favor of Rusty roster.
I think Valdir kind of paid off here because the HP trade
And Dudolinho.
is really good, and Dudolinho is still alive, mate, and still alive and kicking.
Dudolinho doing a lot of that.
Ooh, phenomenal, nice connection.
Nice shot there on to catch me from that Grilla. That's the second kill already from him in this round. And it's starting to look good here for the Wild Bunch.
It looks really good at the moment. Rusty roster is stuck, but there is still timer ticking down there.
Time. Cap is an issue, but Dudo is coming from behind though.
Let us see. Will he manage to... Maybe he's together with Bachat, like the
He
reset
reset
is
it.
imminent.
He reset it. Dudolinho already reset it, so that's not an issue anymore. Slowly but surely the HP going more and more in favor here for the Wild Bunch. They really need to take out some guns if they want to have any chance here. Phenomenal, picking up another one, finally goes down. But there's only 2 guys left here from Rusty roster, Mojo.
And Figo is here with full HP on the hill. He will try to cook the things up, but I don't think he can really do it. So we will have our favorite score here.
3-3?
3-3. And we will go on the next. Oh, this is going to be a long one. A long, long, long one.
I love tiebreakers.
It's okay. It will give a chance to these teams to show the maximum they have.
Figo here. I mean, he and his team are just talking about for the next round. If anything.
If anything else, he just doesn't want to suicide. He wants to farm some more damage.
I don't know if I have him on my fantasy team.
I don't think I do either.
I mean, half your fantasy team is not even here, so there's no point asking.
True. Phenomenal is there, and he's dead.
Oh, he did some nice shells. I saw him pick up some kills.
Yeah. And in one game, he did a lot of damage, so some comfort for me.
There was one in which he did nothing as well.
So what went wrong here for Rusty roster? We should recapitulate that one. They did a blind push, as they know to do here. they just bait the cap, then they do a blind push, and if they catch someone off, perfect! The pressure is on, they can still keep capping and they are killing the guys. But the Wild Bunch here played much more cautious. Valdiver was really well trenched in. They didn't kill him on time.
did a hell of a lot of
And
damage.
Dudolinho was really, really making their life miserable there because none of them was actually aiming him. Everyone was aiming on Valdir, so he was just clipping them in the back all the time.
Figo is gonna cross again.
A lot of police breaks here, but not much time or damage done.
I want Duro to pick up this kill.
It would be a crown achievement for him.
There
in this
comes
game.
Dudolinho.
There we go.
Picks it up. Now making the score all even.
A little one wins.
I think he did like 2.5k damage. Really.
Dudo?
Yep.
He did one full clip.
He did one full clip and then came from behind.
One more, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably over 2k. We're just gonna see that when it comes. So now we have 3-3. The next map will be Prokhorovka. Unless one of these guys plays really brilliant and aggressive.
Who has these stats in favor for them for Prokhorovka?
Oh, let's check this out. The Wild Bunch, 43% overall, 0% in defense. Rusty Roster, 17% overall, 0% in defense.
Both these teams have a flawless record on the defensive
Okay,
side.
we've seen that broken like yesterday, I think, in some matches.
It's been a week of firsts.
Yeah, it's been a week of a lot of firsts, so maybe we will see successful defenses, hopefully not in both cases.
Hopefully not, but let's take a look at the stats from the last round. And we can see that it is going to be a Gorny and then Dudo. I said 2.5, well, it's 2.7.
Oh, it's even better, and it's a rare one. I don't think we've seen Dudo in this kind of position ever.
His position was really perfect because the 50Bs weren't sure who to focus.
And Agorni there on top, it's something that the Wild Bunch needs much more than Kela doing that kind of damage.
Even phenomenal there with 2.3k damage. Let's round it up, and 3 kills was very vital. Nice shells into those 50Bs.
There you go. All it takes for the Wild Bunch to win a round is Kela not to do damage. Stop stealing their damage, Kela.
If Kela dies, they're going to win the round.
That's the game. That's the name of the game.
All right, so that is Himmelsdorf done and dusted. Scores all even. No real surprise there, we would say, between these two teams.
Pretty even so far.
Now moving into Prokhorovka, it is going to be Rusty Roster defending first. If that tells us anything, that means it's 4-3 for the Wild Bunch.
Well, I know one thing we will not see. We will not see a rush through the forest here in defense.
You mean you're referring to Kazna?
Yes.
Yes. No, we won't be seeing a rush through the forest. Not again.
No.
We've seen enough of those.
Maybe bind play, you know, Rusty Roster, kind of like, we never rush, so now we're going to do it.
Rusty Roster and rushing Mojo, really?
I've never seen it, so never mind. Maybe. Once. Perhaps once.
But we've seen the Wild Bunch play offense with RT. Do you think we're going to see RT here from either team?
Oh, I hope. Like, RT is pretty good if you want to dig up those pesky heavies, so let's see.
Let's see. Let's take a look at the lineups moving forward. No RT.
So the Wild Bunch gave up on RT in attack, which they were using, and I would say even successfully.
Yep.
And Rusty Roster, well, they never even took it, I think, in Prokhorovka.
Trying to recall, I don't think so. Nope. But now with these tier 9 batch shots, we're going to have to see. But it does seem like our game is ready. So let's get into it. Who's going to bring themselves onto match point first? It's going to be Rusty Rosters. It's going to be the Wild Bunch. Let's find out on Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
So Rusty Roster here on the defensive side, the Wild Bunch on the offense, and already very Eastern start here for the Wild Bunch.
I was trying to recall why did they remove the RT from their play, because it was successful before, but I remember the last game against Oops was actually won only because Oops made it not so smart call to do a push, and then they suicided a lot of tanks, if you remember, to the Wild Bunch crossfire. Otherwise, it was tactically completely lost and they were stuck. But Rusty Roster, advantageous through the forest and middle.
Oh, Basista here. Well, that is very aggressive.
Did I call it? Really? First time in history. Rusty Roster plays aggressive on Prokhorovka.
Basista here, there's a lot of tanks around him. Dudolinho now coming over, bounced there on the side armor of Dudolinho, trying to hit Basista on the move. That RU-251 is very quick, very nimble. Dudolinho is taking so much for that. They need to really pick him up here, these STBs. Basista actually survives. Catch Me be the one to pick up Dudolinho. But
Yamto getting a bit punished, but Agorni is now cut off from the enemy.
But Agorni picks
from
up
his
Basista.
team.
But it takes so much damage in return, and Figo is the one to pick it up. Well, Mojo, it did seem like you called it.
Rusty Roster, aggressive play on Prokhorovka.
It worked out for them, though. The Wild Bunch didn't expect it at all.
Man, no one would expect this. Like from Rusty Roster playing with 2 STBs, you would probably expect them to sit somewhere in a corner behind the hill with those, but no. They actually did the old school play. They pushed the light and they were playing a cooldown from the middle. Nice. But still, they're still close by the HP.
It's still an even, almost even trade. I mean, they lost to Dudolinho, who's a tier 9 Batchat. They still have Kiki on that. But Yamto is almost dead as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem for them. But still, it's cheaper to lose a tier 8. It's cheaper to lose a tier 8 than to lose like the tier 10 Agorni. Agorni is a real loss for the Wild Bunch here. Hey, it's a big cap pressure now. 2 guys are already in, but they know they cannot cap.
Work.
No, they know they're just preparing themselves to push over. You see, both of them are actually aiming down where Catch Me is coming. And I think they will abandon the cap any second.
They should abandon the cap.
Catch Me is already there, and he is alone. There should be at least one Clipper there pressuring him.
Pashka here.
But Pashka sneaked already there. If he comes to their back,
If he comes to the hill,
they're gone.
Nice shot there from Figo. That nice Figo. Doesn't overstay, doesn't stay for the second shot. Doesn't. Oh, Mr. Kala though.
He's getting pounded like at the moment.
Yamto taking a Shikish now there as well, and actually Kiki picks up Yamto in that STB
But
all the way from A6.
Yamto was already more or less dead. He's not an issue here. The real issue here is Pashka. Pashka who is climbing the hill. But there is already one guy from the Wild Bunch up there. Let's see, Kiki Merkat is here trying not to overextend. He is trying to make use of his shells, but the Wild Bunch is not doing good at the moment.
No, the Wild Bunch is trading not so great right now. Valdir taking even more damage than that ISM, but Shepshenian taking a lot there from Phenomenal from that hill part, taking even more, and Valdir will be the one to pick it up. Nice crossfire there from Kiki and Valdir, taking down that 1-1-3.
And they're now gun up, and HP is closer, much closer now.
But Kiki in return taking a lot as well there now. It's been a trade so far. And Prosto, he wants to chase down Phenomenal. He knows he doesn't have the required shells. The good thing so far for Rusted Roster is that all their tanks pretty much are full HP.
Oh, Phenomenal is left alone there, and so is Valdir more or less. Like, they're in a big problem. Phenomenal is now safe in that ditch, but Valdir is pretty much alone. If he gets spotted, he's gonna get annihilated. I mean, Rusty Roster, they don't really have to do much. Like, they are defending. Catch Me is really safe here. That's smart decision to move away, because if he stood there on A6 like he did, he would get pushed sooner or later and just die for nothing.
Look at the amount of time left with an aggressive play in the beginning. There's still 5 minutes 40 on the clock.
It's pretty much a lot, because both teams extracted in one moment, especially Wild Bunch. They had nothing to do anymore at the field, so there was full rotation in place. And this railway is kind of a natural barrier. You really have to play around it.
You can jump over it though.
Yeah, we still haven't seen anyone do it. Like, we've been calling it from the start of the season. Come on, guys. Like, if you break the trains, you can actually in full speed just cross over.
They don't even have to be broken. You can just jump.
Yeah, but it would be more fun. Like, full speed cross entire team. No takers. No, I guess not.
Rotation here from Rusty Roster though. Pashka pulling back, Prosto, Figo, Catch Me in the north. I mean, kind of realizing, I guess, that they're going to get pushed on the hill. It's a good rotation.
Oh, Kjella taking again some sporadic damage. Like, whenever this kind of rail play, guys, it's never fast.
There goes Catch Me taking up Mr. Kella. Now Prosto from the side has to be careful. Overextending here could be bad. But Catch Me again in that STB. Cool down. Taking up Kiki. Now down to 3 tanks on the Wild Bunch side. And Valdir with his ass exposed towards Catch Me. Catch Me picking up another one.
There is no victory here for the Wild Bunch. Rusty Roster patiently grinding their health away and took all the positions they need, so they will finish off the game in due time. L-Train has HP, but we've said several times that's TVP. Like, he's really nice burst support, but he's also very big target, an easy target for anyone.
As he takes a lot of damage trying to cross that rail now. The fire support from Pachka. Prosto only has one more left. He's out now. He goes down to L-Train. Pachka is out as well, but they took so much damage for this one. L-Train now down to 175, Phenomenal on 566. I think Figo is coming with the cleanup crew.
Rusty Roster has almost 10 times more HP. Okay, not that much, but like, let's say 6.
Figo misses the first shot. Maybe lands the second. Has 3 more. He can easily take both of these out, really.
He's kind of hesitating a bit too much, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he's afraid that they're going to kill him or
no,
something.
Figo, you cannot lose the game. Just go and kill them.
Slow and steady, Mojo. Slow and steady. Basista is like, relax, guys. Catch Me now. He wants another kill moving forward. Shooting on the move. That is on the STB. Not always the greatest ID. As Figo cleans up that kill. Now Catch Me on reload. Figo with 2 more. Phenomenal. Hiding there behind the back of Basista. Figo pushing forwards. This should be it, as Figo is going to be the one now bringing Rusty Roster to match point.
And we've seen something unheard of so far.
Rusty Roster won a defensive round.
And they rushed. And they rushed. On Prokhorovka, no less.
It's a day of first, Mojos.
Yeah. So let's see now. Like, I would really like to see what was the damage done here. I mean, I would like if he had a stat for spotted damage, what did Batista do? Because he would survive around there in one moment. If Agorni didn't kill him, he would stay alive.
Those STBs actually did a lot of damage with their inaccurate guns on range.
And they took a lot of damage only from Agorni, but I don't think it was the smartest decision for Agorni to help there. I think
if he's smart, he doesn't shoot and he's like, Dudo, you're dead. Then runs away after or stays there.
Yeah, I think that would be the best call for them, because like this, he just killed themselves.
Yeah, if he stays there, he could maybe clip somebody for free.
Yep, together with the remainder of his team, that would be an option, because they would not know that there is some spot in there. But let's see what was done.
Let's take a look at the statistics. I'm pretty sure Catch Me is going to be pretty high, as Catch Me is the first one.
Catch Me, Figo, Pashka, first 3.
Phenomenal.
Then we have Phenomenal, but yeah, he kind of...
L-Train, Agorni. I mean, there are players there that we expect to be there, but they just didn't do enough.
It was really a surprising play here by Rusty Roster. As you saw already, we were all shocked, and now Rusty Roster on a match point. Is it possible?
Is it?
Can it be?
Can it be, is the question.
It's on can it be, can it be. But they have, how much, 7 points now, right? After that defeat
Rusty
over
Roster?
Swift.
Rusty Roster?
Yes. They have 7 points. They defeated
They
Swift.
have 2 points from
2 tiebreakers wins.
And then 1
tiebreaker
win against Legend, 1 full win against Swift 7.
And now they have a match
if
point.
they win this, it puts them over the Wild Bunch.
It puts them over the Wild Bunch.
Yep.
And I think they have a chance. Let's see who are they even playing. Rage Quit, Kazna, Knekebro. If they win this, they have a chance to stay.
If they win Rage Quit,
let's see. They need to win this. They need to win this first.
If they even win it in tiebreaker, they still come equal to the Wild Bunch. No, they don't. That's
too much math.
That is not true, because Wild Bunch would have 10.
Too much math, still.
Everything is still possible. We said it.
So, in theory, both of the teams can survive.
Yep.
To the second phase. Oh, wow. So, let's see. What will they play in this last game, Prokhorovka?
Let's see. Now, no RDs again. I7 STB. We talked about the STB on defense. Not a fan, right?
No, me neither. It's kind of...
E5 does everything better.
Yeah,
113
more
as well.
armor. STB has better cooldown, but you can
E5,
pen his turret
we've
back
seen E5 do a lot better than STBs.
in various positions. Or also, if you want really to camp in a forest, you can do it also with E5. It's even better. TVP for cover, that's fine. But Rusty Roster, 2-1-1-3s. It's really kind of, for them, this is aggressive setup.
Very aggressive setup. I'm missing like 3 IS4s.
Maybe 4 IS7s, but that would be oops.
Oof, Mojo.
It was a brilliant game. Come on, it was fun.
Yeah. But it didn't work the second time they tried it.
Yeah, first time it was brilliant. The second time it was kind of, eh.
It does seem like our game is ready. Can Rusty Roster close it? Can the Wild Bunch claw themselves back to tiebreaker? Let's find out. As now Rusty Roster is going to be attacking. The Wild Bunch is on the defensive. What kind of start are we seeing here?
Well, we know the most of the attacks of Rusty Roster start with sitting somewhere and waiting for enemy to suicide. Let's see what will the Wild Bunch do, because they might be on a tilt now. This was not the best performance they had so far. A lot of mistakes were done, and that's why Rusty Roster is now in the lead at the moment.
Yep, repeating, if Rusty Roster picked this up this round here, it would put them over the Wild Bunch in the rankings.
Now, the Wild Bunch at the moment, I do not like this play. They didn't spot anyone, and Rusty Roster has open field.
Gives them a lot of cap control.
They can just put at least one guy there in a cap. One of the 1-1-3s. They don't need two. One of the 1-1-3s.
They just need to land their shells on Valdir when he tries to push over.
Yeah, Valdir is a crucial guy for decapping there, and they need to prevent him from going, because if he manages to do that, they will be the ones in a problem. They don't really have much potential to deal with him.
So far to see the rotation here from the Wild Bunch. Dudo is spotting the hill. Valdir here just trying to see any of the 1-1-3s. Now, standard for the Wild Bunch. They will now clear the 0 line. Same thing for Rusty Roster. They will clear the 1-2 line.
Batista doing really aggressive spot there. Will he try to go below the rail? But that would be kind of suicidal if they're peak. Aha, he's trying to clear. Is there someone in the bushes?
What Mojo meant is that he fired, which made it so if he gets spotted, he knows. Phenomenal Kiki here getting spotted.
So let's see, why did we say that? Usually some teams know to leave a heavy somewhere here in the bushes so he's not spotted. When Batista did a pass like this and fired in like top position, he would get spotted by doing so if there was anyone there. But he saw there is no one, so they know they have entire base clear. Now when they put anyone capping here, close to the hill, as much as they can, the logical way for I7, he will need to go and do something like this, and from here he would have a perfect cooldown to decap, but he needs to get there. That's why we said I7 needs to be stopped. If Rusty Roster managed to do that and prevent any kind of rotation by the Wild Bunch that could go like this way, they will pretty much win the match. And so far, the Wild Bunch is giving them all the ground.
Explain to the people why so many bad shots are currently on the hill for the Wild Bunch, because it just seems like there's 3 bad shots there.
A lot of guys know to leave traps, and the Wild Bunch is, as we can see, pretty much afraid of that, because a lot of guys leave traps on J0, and most of the team, like 4 or 5 guys from the team, are pressuring the 1 cap, and then when teams like Wild Bunch would turn their backs and try to deal with that, those clippers come back behind them and they shoot them. So that's why they're trying to check it out, but they're even trying to check it out really slow at the moment.
Very slow stuff here so far from the Wild Bunch. Giving a lot of control here from Rusty Roster. Mojo, look, Janto, Shepsesheni moving towards the cap. Prosto, catch me. Triple cap?
Triple.
But look at Figo and Pashka. They want to catch Valdir when he decides to push over.
Oh, this doesn't really look well for the Wild Bunch. Prosto is in position to spot the A6 if someone peeks. And these guys are perfectly safe.
Batista knows exactly where they are because he's roaming the rails. Roaming the rails, he knows there's no bad shots coming from the south.
They know every rotation that comes here from the Wild Bunch will be from the upper side. They know it.
Already, Figo, Pashka doing some damage. Now the counter push will come. Pashka and Figo here, they need to be careful because there comes the
Kella's
push.
getting pounded.
Mr. Kella in that
There is
SPB, there's the push over. Valdir now as well in that IS-7, getting fired from 2 sides. Figo, Pashka in return getting cross-shot from the rails. They trade Valdir, but they lose Pashka in return. Figo should be falling here as well. -3 times for Rusty Roster, but minus Mr. Kella and Valdir as well.
This is a major misplay here by Rusty Roster. They should have just pushed down immediately and gathered up with their tanks while they were killing I7 and STB. Now they actually gave a lot of ground to Wild Bunch to play around.
Eltrain getting a nice clip there from behind. Catch me. He has almost reload available. He wants to take down that TVP. He should be able to win the fight. Nobody really there for the Wild Bunch to support. If he manages to pick this one up, catch me.
Well, what's Agorni doing? Agorni should be in position to help him.
Catch me. This side to go back over.
Yeah, but his reload is done now, but and TVP will actually have a shell soon, and Agorni was there.
Shepshishen and Yamto also pushing forward, but now
Wow.
Catch Me goes for it. Now it's too
Seriously?
late.
If I ever seen a suicide, I mean, you might have as well jumped through the window like this.
Mojo, it doesn't look good here for Rusty. Roster phenomenal now with Agorni pushing down that 1-2 line onto Prosto. A single bad shot, but phenomenal actually. That bad shot from Prosto will go down here any second. Shepshisheni and Yamto. There's 1-1-3 is the last two standing, and it does look like the Wild Bunch is going to be able to pick up the last round here, which will be sending us to our lovely tiebreaker, Mojo.
The most favorite word for all of us.
Tiebreaker.
The code by Believe.
As L-Train picks it up, and it's going to be a tiebreaker.
Fight to the last, and our
And I think it's
tiebreaker map is
Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf. So we're gonna see another one. What do they have prepared for us, I wonder?
What do they have left?
I really don't know. But they're doing the picks now, and who even played the fastest round? Like,
So we went
Seriously?
on Ghost Town.
the Wild Bunch won attack on Ghost Town.
That was fairly quick.
Maybe that one.
That was fairly quick.
Because all other
they
games
capped.
were really, really slow.
Dudo capped in pretty much 140 seconds.
Yeah. It might be that the Wild Bunch will choose the side because other games were quite slow.
I think the Wild Bunch will choose the side.
Oh, we will see. So what went wrong in this game? And the Wild Bunch is picking side.
But
Nice one. So, what went wrong this game?
Figo Pachka staying too long.
Yeah, like we said, it's good. You have
Catch
a
me.
crossfire, you can shoot on this I-7, you can shoot on an STB crossing, that's fine.
Yeah, but after the
But
first
they were-
initial shots, they needed to run.
They need to run immediately, actually, and go close combat and join the rest of the forces. Hide somewhere from the counter push from the Wild Bunch, which was imminent. You don't need a crystal ball to guess that one. Like they're
Then
not gonna
Catch Me. I mean, Catch Me could have just beaten L-Train one-on-one. Catch Me was 1,400 HP. L-Train, unless he rolls really high, is not going to kill him in 4 shells.
He was scared that someone else will shoot him, and then he completely misplayed. Like he just literally.
He got shot by Dudo, I think, then. When coming back over, Dudo hit him, which made it
It
so he
doesn't
died.
even matter. What was that? He was driving in circles while the other guy got reload and then just killed him. Like, what was that? Come on. I mean, wow.
Well, puts us where we are now.
Exactly. The brilliant plays we've seen
Tiebreaker.
so far. We are in a tiebreaker, the best of all. But those both have a lot to play for, and they need every point. So,
Wild Bunch defense, no surprise there.
yeah, I would say if you are choosing a side
On the
against Rusty
Himmelsdorf,
roster,
yeah.
I would choose defense.
Especially against Rusty roster.
Oh boy.
Take a
Let's
look at
see
the
what was done
stats
here.
from the last round, though. Mojo, it is going to be L-Train there. No surprise.
Well, a lot of sniping and background support by him. Also a Gorni from the middle. So that kind of force from the Wild Bunch, they pushed over to counterattack. It's all damage done by them. So it's really reasonable that they did all this.
Yeah, great damage here from the first 4 players from the Wild Bunch. L-Train, Agorni, phenomenal. Kind of players we need to step up. You know, the players we talked about in the beginning, they're the ones to do it for their team. And Mojo, remember what you said, if Mr. Kella dies and doesn't do any damage, they win.
Uh-oh. Exactly like that. Man, he's gonna suicide every game now. Maybe he's better doing micro when he dies like that.
I don't think it's Mr. Kella leading, though.
In-game?
Yeah, doubt it.
I think he does, actually. He and a couple of guys help, but I
it's
think he's...
Agorni.
I don't think he does all the main. Well, we can actually ask them. That is a topic for the next interview.
I think I have that in the questionnaire.
There you go. We can check that also. But you know that they gave like 3 different answers?
Yeah, something.
And Dudulinho said for himself that he's leading. I remember that one.
Dudolinho is leading himself.
Oh.
He doesn't need a field commander.
No guidance needed there.
Dudolinho, he does it all by himself.
Did he trip last time over the rail?
Yeah.
And flip?
No, it was a Prokhorovka. He came
Oh,
over the rail
Prokhorovka,
and
yeah, over
flipped
the rail.
himself. And then, who was this against? That was against...
It was the last match.
That was the Wild Bunch versus
Oops, I think.
Oops, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
L-
talked to
L-Train tried to go
then
back
I talked
and
to the
freaking-
guys from Oops, and you know
Yeah.
what they told me?
Yeah.
I was like, did you guys realize that the linear was flipped? And they're like, no, because we thought it was at the rails, because if you're at the rails, you always aim
Okay.
above it.
Okay.
So they were aiming above, and they were like, oh, we don't have a contour, we can't see him. It's later they realized that the linear was on his side.
Tactical. But we're gonna see another Himmelsdorf here, and both teams will change something their play, I hope.
Or not.
I mean, honestly, last defense by the Wild Bunch was pretty decent. They did a good crossfire, they did decent spotting, and Rusty Roster showed nothing in that attack. They're just playing blindly. It was not really good.
And it was a blind play they already did once.
Twice or even 3 times. Couple of times.
A couple of times.
Yeah, so nothing new there, and I think Wild Bunch, well, they don't even have to change much.
No.
Like that kind of build is designed to play against a lot of things.
Himmelsdorf is just a map. You don't really need to change tactics so often. It's more about reactions and hitting your shots than really overall. It's almost impossible to invent something new for Himmelsdorf.
At the moment for them will be mainly just that someone doesn't misplay. Like we've seen when Ogorny sometimes gets overzealous and gets shot 2-3 times if he
So
plays
we
a
talked
budget.
about
Yeah.
they have very young players in the Wild Bunch, players that sometimes a little bit over eager. They want to
Yeah, they want to show themselves.
adrenaline is
They
pumping.
want to contribute. They want to do a lot, but it's not always the best.
Doesn't always work out.
Oh, let's see.
Wow, we have our lineups ready. Let's take a look.
Fast teams.
Fast teams here. Let's take a look what we got for our tanks. Doesn't seem like much has changed, Mojo.
Well, it looks like the Wild Bunch they're playing the same as we said. It's identical. Did they have a grill? Yeah, they had a grill.
They had a
right?
grill.
They had a grill.
Phenomenal was playing the grill. They got one more 113, I think.
Yeah, it's one more 1-1-3.
And Rusty Roster is the same. Double 113, double 50B, bad shot, gorilla. That's the same. That's exactly
That's
the same.
exactly the same lineup.
So Mojo, what do you think? The same start from both teams?
Well, I certainly hope that not, because Rusty Roster didn't really had any play there at the moment. So at the moment we are waiting for players, guys, to get ready. This is a big match for them.
This is an important match.
Every point here counts. If Rusty Roster wins this, they will be on 9 points.
9. But no matter what happens, if Rusty Roster wins, no matter what happens, the Wild Bunch stay ahead of them, right?
No matter what.
Because if Rusty Roster wins this, they go up to 9.
And the Wild Bunch will
goes
have 10.
10. If the Wild Bunch win this, they go up to 11, which could be safe. Could be. You're not sure, because mathematically you need 12 to be safe.
Yeah, but it's better if you need 1 point
Yeah.
to get in
I
next
mean, I
3
think
matches.
11 might be enough. I'm not sure. Everything is so close.
We don't know. 12 should be safe for everyone.
12 is safe.
Yeah, but
'Cause it means you
11,
beat
11
4
can
teams.
be a lot of drama, and then deciding like, do you have more lost or won games and things like that.
Mojo knows everything about missing 1 point.
Okay, I remember that one.
You know what I'm referencing to?
Yeah, mate. Last time I didn't qualify with ECM because of 1 point. We lost in last game against Kulbas on 1 shot of 1 guy. Like, I'm gonna remember Breakneck as long as I live because of that one. Because he shot while he was driving.
Bad nightmares there. For
Dude, like he
Mojo.
did 1K while he was like,
Yeah, that one was good. I was like,
it was good for everyone except him. I mean us. But never mind. It's history now.
it
Painful
is
one.
history.
I hate you.
Oh, don't be afraid, Mojo. I'll get Ryan to give you a hug.
Wow. Beard, bro.
It does seem like our game is ready. Our final game here between these two on Himmelsdorf. So the Wild Bunch will be the defender for this tiebreaker, and Rusty Roster the attacker.
Unusual
and this
start.
is something unusual.
Do we see a trap here? trap written all over this kind of defense, because this is not something you usually do with this kind of tanks. And Agorni is actually spotting the middle. Not like, look at this push. The Wild Bunch knew to do this a couple of times. They would send a medium there and press the 8 line.
Going back to their old style. The last time they did it with the tier 9 Kiki.
Tier 9 one, and they had the T10 on 8 line. And it was fairly successful.
But look at Rusty roster, Mojo. Look at that. They already got 3 tanks passed on the K line.
That's why they left Dudulinho in that little bush on C1. This is actually even the position which Oops uses. If you remember, Algo was there a couple of times, if I remember correct. But nothing spotted by the Wild Bunch. They already saw that Rusty roster did not overcommit. Oh, what a surprise. And now they're going for a plan B.
Assista, as per usual, will be leading the charge here for his team. Gorni now, they will clear out the hill with 2-3 guys to make sure Figo and Pashka cannot sit there.
Well, Agorni just rotating back since he was spotted from someone by the hill. He knows that. And a lot of slow play coming in here, but Rusty roster slowly but surely progressing on the rail since they didn't see anyone spot them so far. Basista will check the rail, and he will check is there anyone more up there. He cannot go past this point because he doesn't know is there anyone on B4, so he really doesn't want to get shot cheaply like that.
Rusty roster have a fair amount of control, you could say here. They control that 1-2 line and leaving Figo in a G0 position to control the hill as well. This could be good for them.
There's even some kind of risky play by Rusty here. Fairly unusual, but we've seen on Prokhorovka it's doable. Pashka is alone on K-line and he is waiting there. Only covered by Figo. A lot of things could go wrong with this, or right, depending how TW plays it.
Depends on the rotation from the Wild Bunch. You know, if Dudu at one point tries to sneak through the K-line, but Pashka is going back towards the hill.
Basista ran away. Ooh, took a one shot, but that's okay. For 3 minutes of play, that's not too much.
Basista in that 39 is taking one shot of damage here. Not the biggest loss.
This game actually looks cool.
Nice rotation so far. Even the Wild Bunch, Kiki, Agorni, they'll be ready to receive that zero-line push.
It's good coverage by the Wild Bunch at the moment. They didn't take a bait. They didn't rotate with all the forces. It's a bit slow, but I think this is the right way for them. Now they should focus on like spotting that 5 line. It would be really important to see, especially is someone trying to cross there and join the attack from the Rusty roster.
Everybody from Rusty roster here now retreating from that 1-2 line. Substation and Yamto are going to be joining Catch Me and Prosto. It's going to be another 8-line push here, but the Wild Bunch again, a good rotation. I think even Agorni is going to be repositioning back into that cubby.
Look at those 113s, guys. Fire extinguisher and 2 repair kits. Why? Well, they burn a lot, their ammo rack dies a lot, they get tracked a lot, and engine dies a lot. Well, why would you pick them? Well, they're mobile, they have decent armor and good DPM for that. So, it's a trade.
Yamto there taking a free shot pretty much from L-Train, who's waiting for that now. Rusty roster deciding to adjust here. Could work out great, but Valdir, Dudulinho, gonna be important here.
Dudulinho will actually be crucial here. He might bring the victory or loss, depends how he plays, spots, shoots. It's really important that he actually does not die. That's a priority.
There's the rotation from the Wild Bunch. L-Train, Kiki, Valdir from the side. Catch Me is going to be the first one that gets catched here. They're pushing around. They want to take this victory. Catch Me drops low, but Yamto and Prosto trying to help. Phenomenal picks up Catch Me. Gorni now coming from behind. Prosto is the next one. The Wild Bunch, they didn't want to wait for Rusty roster here. Yes, the HP is still a little bit even so far, but Shepshashenian taking some as well, and Prosto went low.
Dudulinho should start rotating immediately and chase on Figo. Like right now, this very second, because the other guys are enough to deal with everyone else. He should pressure on him.
Rotation is actually not working out for the Wild Bunch. It looked good in the beginning, but started losing too much HP after. Yamto and Prosto actually managed to get saved at 50B on 136 HP, doing a lot of damage here to Phenomenal.
Oh my god, I really thought Wild Bunch actually has it here. They did the right call. It's just the focused fire. like it looked like Rusty Roster has 3 guys out of the fight, but they just didn't close in the fight fast enough.
Shep Shishanian takes down Phenomenal, now down to 2 guys here for the Wild Bunch in this tiebreaker. As Dudolinho does manage to pick up Prosto, but a nice shot there from Pashka in that Gorilla 717, taking off of Valdir's HPs. Dudolinho is now on the run with Figo on the chase. Figo managed to pick him up. Valdir, the last one standing here for the Wild Bunch, and Mojo, it does seem like Rusty Roster is going to be able to do it again in a tiebreaker, taking very crucial points here as Valdir, the last one standing. Basista coming from behind. Figo penetrates the first, needs to land the second, as it as it is going to be Basista picking it up now, making it 5-4 in favor of Rusty Roster.
Well, there is a lesson to be taken here. Don't go in tiebreakers with Rusty Roster. Never. Doesn't